welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maria. If you watch this video and you enjoy it, don't be shy, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for any future videos on narcissistic abuse recovery and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, I already did one video on toxic shame, but I just want to dive a little bit deeper into the toxic shame today with you. I know that a lot of people who have gone through narcissistic abuse and emotional abuse in general, childhood trauma, they have something called CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder. One of the 5 signs of CPTSD is this toxic shame. But some people haven't gone through narcissistic abuse, and I want to let them know exactly what this shame is doing to them as they've grown into an adult. Okay, so what is toxic shame? Well, everybody is ashamed of something. That is a totally normal response, right? And shame is going to be different than guilt. So with toxic shame, I'll give you an example so that maybe you can understand. Let's say you are trying your hardest to get into your dream school. This is something you're really working on, and you're doing everything you can to succeed. This is like tunnel vision. I'm going to get into my school. This is a big deal. You don't end up getting into the school that you wanted to. You may have been brought up in a toxic household where one or more of your caretakers or parents may say, well, did you really expect to get into that school? You know how hard it is to get into that school? Like, I'm sure only 3% of the people, actually got into that school. And if, you should have tried harder. Like, you should have worked harder, and you probably could have done it had you not gone out with your friends that one night. If you just would have pushed a little bit more. All right, so something like this could then be internalized. So then the individual that hears this from their caretaker would say, maybe they're right. If I would have studied more, if I would have done better, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. This now means that I am not going to get the dream job I wanted. I am not going to be in my dream school. I am so stupid. Why did I do that? Why did I go out? You could now possibly internalize the fact that you did not get into that school to mean I am stupid. I am not going to succeed. I am not worthy of going to college. These other people are so much better than me. I am so much lower than them in the totem pole. Along the same lines of internalizing shame is maybe you did end up going to college and you have a hard time, or you have a hard time in school in general. All right, and you have a class and you get a D in the class, which you're kind of embarrassed about. So you're dreading letting your parents know. You let your parents know, I got a D in this class. And they say, oh, that's so amazing. I'm so happy. At least you didn't fail. You got a D. Oh, I'm so happy you got a D. So then you're thinking, why are my parents so happy I got a D? Like, other people are striving for A's and B's and a 4.0 and a 3.6, and here I am at a 2.0, and my parents are excited. What does that mean about me? That means that that's what I'm capable of. That's all I'm capable of. If someone's excited for me and I got a D, I'm capable of a D. You can internalize shame in that way as well. So how does shame show up in your life as an adult? So as we get older, this internalized shame, it comes back to haunt us, right? So we start having a limited, beliefs about ourselves. So our self-talk gets really negative. This I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart. All of this stuff we're telling ourselves on repeat is getting stuck now in our subconscious mind. So our mind are just going to these thoughts. We're not even trying at this point to think these negative things. Our subconscious mind, it knows what you want it to think. It knows what you're comfortable with. Your subconscious mind is not against you. It just goes to what it's comfortable with and what it knows. And in the file folder of your mind, it has heard you tell yourself over and over again that I'm not smart and I'm not good enough. And that's where it's going to go over and over again until you reprogram your subconscious mind. So negative self-talk is something that really shows up when you have this deep internalized shame. You can be really hard on yourself, really overly critical. You could be hard on yourself about everything, things that show up in your life that you don't even know you're hard on yourself. Think about it this way. Do people tell you, wow, you're really hard on yourself? That's really not a big deal. Oh, you didn't make the recipe correctly and you're like really upset about it. You feel like a failure. Yeah, you're being really hard on yourself. So if you notice people say that to you, take a look at where this could be coming from. Why are you so hard on yourself? You might want to look at that. So as you become an adult, another way in which shame can show up is actually in your body, in physical pain. I know you've heard that stress can really affect your health, right? Well, when you're telling yourself negative things like I'm not good enough and you're overly critical about yourself and you're really hard on yourself, you're creating this stress. So you're living in a bubble of stress that you are creating. Of course, this is not your fault. Don't think I'm saying it's your fault. This is something that you internalize because something that somebody said to you. All right, but this can show up as physical pain. Do you have stomach problems? Do you notice digestion and stomach problems? Do you notice like aches in your joints and problems like just aching in your muscles and your joints, feeling lethargic, feeling really low and tired? Your energy level is just really, really low. You're feeling depressed. So all of these are ways of this shame showing through after so many years of telling ourselves these same things over and over again. And like I said, this is stuck in our subconscious mind. So these kind of thoughts can happen when we wake up in the morning, and they may stop when we go to bed at night. So you can understand how much stress your body is under. So the last thing I want to mention is how this underlying internalized shame, this is something that we call a core wound. So the core wound is that initial wound that happened, the first thing that happened, where you internalized this feeling. So this core wound is telling you, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not attractive. That is in your core wound. So the core wound is the shame. You may not recognize what your core wound is because the core wound can come out in different ways. One of these ways is in anger, all right, resentment. So with anger, you may notice that you are irritable about things. Driving in traffic is making you crazy. When somebody just does something small, you're so angry about it. When somebody asks you to do a task at work or something, and maybe it's something that you don't know how to do, and you're having a hard time figuring it out and you get angry. Maybe it has nothing to do with anything. You're just at home and the TV won't work and you get really, really angry. And people around you are saying you have anger problems. You need to go to anger management. I can't deal with your anger. So did you ever think that maybe you're not an angry person? Maybe you have a core wound underneath that anger and that core wound is this shame that you felt. And you've been telling yourself these negative things for so long that you've built up this anger. And what is anger? Anger is an emotion that is covering up your core wound. It's actually protecting you. It's protecting you from feeling those deep, dark feelings of this core wound. So this anger is coming out of you. That's what's coming out of you. But what's inside of you is this pain and this hurt. So how do you get through the anger? How do you get rid of the anger? You don't treat the anger. You treat the core wound. You get into the shame. You face the shame. You start talk therapy. You start working with a life coach that specializes in things like complex PTSD and emotional abuse, and you get to that core of the problem that you are masking with the anger, okay? So that's how we're going to shed these things, by getting to the core wound, and you can do this. So we have to face our problems to be able to move through them. Okay. I hope you guys got something out of this. If you did, don't be shy. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for any future videos on narcissistic abuse recovery and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And as always, I wish you all the love in the world.